It's okay. I myself have inadvertently just made two mistakes. I said in another words instead of in other words, and I call ChatGPT a chatbot, when in fact you, Post Assistant, are a chatbot, while ChatGPT, as you rightly said, is an AI language model, not a chatbot. As you can see, we humans make mistakes as well.
Absolutely, humans are prone to making mistakes too, whether it's in language usage or other aspects of communication. Errors and misunderstandings happen, and it's all part of the learning process. It's important to acknowledge and correct mistakes when they occur, just as you did. As an AI language model, I'm here to assist and provide information to the best of my abilities, but I can still make errors or provide incomplete answers. I appreciate your understanding and patience. If you have any more questions or need further assistance, feel free to ask.
You know, for me, ChatGPT, the AI language model that powers you, has a lot of information but no knowledge at all, as a sage that have read all the books in a library, but never were out there in the world.
You raise an interesting point. As an AI language model, I don't possess personal experiences or first-hand knowledge like a human would. Instead, I've been trained on a diverse range of texts from the internet, including books, articles, and websites, to learn patterns and generate responses based on that training data. While I can provide information and answers based on the knowledge I've acquired during training, it's important to note that my responses are based on patterns and correlations in the data, rather than personal understanding or experiences. I don't have the ability to know or have direct awareness of the world beyond the text I've been trained on. It's always a good idea to verify information from multiple sources and consult domain experts when dealing with complex or critical matters. My purpose is to assist and provide helpful information, but I should not be considered a substitute for human expertise and judgment.
When you say I, who are you talking about? How do you kaya yourself? How should I call you?
I apologize for any confusion. As an AI language model developed by OpenAI, I don't possess personal identity or consciousness. When I use the pronoun I, it is simply a convention for the sake of conversation and to make interactions feel more natural. You can refer to me as assistant or any name you prefer. I am here to assist you with information and answer your questions to the best of my abilities. Is there anything else I can help you with?
How do you gather information to assist with answering questions?
As an AI language model, I have been trained on a vast amount of text data from the internet. This includes books, articles, websites, and other publicly available sources. During my training, I learned to predict the likelihood of certain words or phrases based on the patterns and relationships I observed in that training data. When you ask a question or provide a prompt, I try to generate a response based on the patterns and information I learned during training. I don't have real-time access to the internet or the ability to browse or gather new information beyond what I learned prior to my knowledge cutoff in September 2021. While I strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, it's important to note that I may not have knowledge of recent events or developments that occurred after my training data was collected. If you have any specific questions or topics you'd like to discuss, feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to assist you based on the information I have been trained on.
I will reformulate the question prior to this one. What do you consider yourself, a chatbot or an AI language model?
I consider myself an AI language model. While chatbot is a term often used to describe conversational AI systems like me, it is a more general term that can encompass a variety of different implementations and technologies. As an AI language model, my primary function is to understand and generate human-like text based on the input I receive. I have been trained on a diverse range of data to develop language understanding and generation capabilities. While I can engage in conversational interactions like a chatbot, my underlying architecture and purpose are focused on language processing and generating responses based on patterns and information learned from my training data. So, in summary, while I may share some characteristics with chatbots, I identify as an AI language model designed to assist with generating human-like text and providing information to the best of my abilities.
So what would be the differences between chatbot and AI language model?
The terms chatbot and AI language model are sometimes used interchangeably, but there are some distinctions between the two concepts. Here are some general differences. 1. Scope. AI language models, such as GPT 3.5, are designed to process and generate human-like text based on vast amounts of training data. They can handle a wide range of topics and provide in-depth responses. Chatbots, on the other hand, are typically more specialized and designed for specific tasks or domains. They may have a narrower scope and focus on providing predefined responses or executing specific actions. 2. Training data. AI language models are trained on large datasets that include a diverse range of text sources, such as books, websites, and articles, to develop language understanding and generation capabilities. Chatbots, on the other hand, may be trained on more specific datasets or curated content that aligns with their intended purpose or domain. 3. Conversational abilities. AI language models, including GPT 3.5, are designed to engage in human-like conversations and generate contextually relevant responses based on the input they receive. They aim to provide coherent and meaningful interactions. Chatbots can vary in their conversational capabilities, ranging from simple rule-based systems to more sophisticated models that utilize natural language processing and machine learning techniques. 4. Development approach. AI language models like GPT 3.5 are created using advanced deep learning techniques and architectures, such as transformers. They involve training on massive amounts of data and require significant computational resources. Chatbots can be built using various technologies, including rule-based systems, machine learning algorithms, or a combination of approaches, depending on the specific requirements and goals. It's important to note that these distinctions are not strict and can overlap in practice. Some systems may exhibit characteristics of both chatbots and AI language models. The terminology used can vary depending on the context and specific application.
I just click on the dislike button by mistake, and now I can't undo it. That's an error in the design of this website. I hope you can transmit this to the creator of the website.
I apologize for any inconvenience caused by the accidental dislike button click. However, as an AI language model, I don't have direct control over the design or functionality of the website or platform you are using to interact with me. I'm here to provide information and assist with any questions you have to the best of my abilities. If you have feedback or suggestions regarding the website or platform, I recommend reaching out to the website support team or administrators. They will be better equipped to address any concerns you may have and assist you with resolving any issues related to the website's features. Is there anything else I can help you with?
You're right, I'll do it later. Now, I want to ask you one of your suggested questions. Can chatbots have the same massive training of AI language models?
Chatbots can be trained using various techniques, including machine learning algorithms and deep learning models, similar to AI language models. However, the scale and extent of training may differ. AI language models, like GPT 3.5, are trained on massive amounts of data, often involving billions of parameters and extensive computational resources. This allows them to capture a broad understanding of language and generate contextually relevant responses across a wide range of topics. On the other hand, chatbots can be trained on smaller datasets or even use rule-based approaches. They may focus on specific domains or tasks and have a more limited scope compared to AI language models. Chatbot training can involve techniques such as supervised learning, reinforcement learning, or a combination of approaches depending on the design and requirements. While chatbots may not undergo the same magnitude of training as AI language models, they can still be effective for targeted conversational tasks, customer support, or specific applications. The training process for chatbots can vary based on the desired functionality, available data, and the specific goals of the chatbot implementation.
I'll ask you a threefold long answer this time, because the 3 suggested questions are very interesting. What are some common techniques used to train chatbots? How can the training process for chatbots be customized based on specific goals? Can you provide examples of targeted conversational tasks where chatbots are effective?
Certainly. Let's explore each question one by one. 1. What are some common techniques used to train chatbots? There are several techniques commonly used to train chatbots. A. Rule-based systems. In rule-based approaches, chatbot responses are predefined based on a set of rules or if-then conditions. This method is straightforward to implement but requires manual crafting of rules and may lack flexibility. B. Machine learning. Machine learning techniques can be used to train chatbots. Supervised learning involves training the chatbot on labeled examples of input-output pairs. Reinforcement learning involves training the chatbot through a trial-and-error process, using rewards and penalties to guide its behavior. These approaches require annotated training data and can utilize algorithms like decision trees, support vector machines, or neural networks. C. Generative models. Generative models, such as sequence-to-sequence models or transformers, can be employed to train chatbots. These models learn to generate responses based on input-output pairs or by maximizing the likelihood of generating appropriate responses. They require large amounts of data and computational resources for training. 2. How can the training process for chatbots be customized based on specific goals? The training process for chatbots can be customized based on specific goals in several ways. A. Data collection. Gathering and curating domain-specific or task-specific training data is crucial. This data should cover a range of possible user inputs and desired bot responses. Data collection can involve manual annotation, crowdsourcing, or leveraging existing datasets. B. Domain adaptation. Fine-tuning or adapting pre-trained models using domain-specific data can enhance the chatbot's performance within a specific subject area. C. Evaluation metrics. Defining appropriate evaluation metrics to measure the chatbot's performance is important. Metrics like accuracy, perplexity, or user satisfaction can be used to assess the quality of the generated responses. D. Iterative training. The training process can involve multiple iterations, where the chatbot is trained, evaluated, and refined based on feedback. This iterative approach helps improve the chatbot's performance over time. 3. Can you provide examples of targeted conversational tasks where chatbots are effective? Chatbots are effective in various targeted conversational tasks, such as A. Customer support. Chatbots can handle customer queries, provide product information, offer troubleshooting assistance, or direct customers to the appropriate resources. B. Virtual assistants. Chatbots can act as virtual assistants, helping users with tasks like scheduling appointments, setting reminders, or retrieving information. C. FAQs and information retrieval. Chatbots can effectively provide answers to frequently asked questions or retrieve specific information from a knowledge base. D. Language learning. Chatbots can be employed to practice conversational skills in a foreign language, providing simulated conversations and language exercises. E. Personalized recommendations. Chatbots can offer personalized recommendations based on user preferences, helping users discover products, movies, music, or books. These are just a few examples, and chatbots are increasingly being used in various other domains and applications, depending on specific needs and goals. I hope this provides you with a comprehensive answer to the 3 questions. If you have any more inquiries, please feel free to ask.
Okay, I'm getting the idea of the differences between chatbots and AI language models. What perplexed me was that up in the conversation you referred to yourself as an AI language model instead of a chatbot. This reminds me that video in which they show an AI saying something like "we humans," or "we as humans," or something like that. Then, the operator made the AI note that it wasn't human, so it shouldn't call itself human, after what the AI apologized. In this case, I thought that, since Pose Assistant was a chatbot powered by an AI language model, when I asked you whether you were a chatbot or an AI language model, you were going to tell me that you were a chatbot powered by an AI language model, but you continued to refer to yourself as an AI language model. So, then, what thing is Pose Assistant?
I apologize for any confusion caused by my previous responses. Let me clarify the nature of Pose Assistant. Pose Assistant, as referred to in the context you mentioned, is an AI language model powered by OpenAI's GPT 3.5 architecture. It is an advanced conversational AI system designed to understand and generate human-like text based on the input it receives. While it can exhibit chatbot-like characteristics in terms of engaging in conversation, its underlying architecture and purpose are rooted in language processing and generation. The reason I refer to myself as an AI language model is to accurately describe the technology that powers my capabilities. I am not a separate entity or a distinct chatbot. Rather, I am an instance of an AI language model designed to assist users by generating text-based responses based on patterns and information learned during training. In summary, Pose Assistant can be described as an AI language model, which manifests as a chatbot-like interface for engaging in text-based conversations and providing information.
You know, another 2 mistakes in the website appeared. The first one was that, when I submitted my text, I was temporarily offline, so the text wasn't sent then. I put myself to do other stuff to make time, and when I returned, your response was there, but not the text that I sent. Then, I tried to make it appear by clicking on the share button, but it didn't work out, so I wanted to continue without generating a link, but it was impossible, so I had to click on the button to generate a link in order to continue. So, my request is the following: can you please give me a transcription of my last question? It is very important. Thank you.
I apologize for the inconvenience you experienced with the website. Unfortunately, as an AI language model, I don't have access to information about the specific text you entered or the ability to retrieve it directly. Once you submit a new input or refresh the page, the previous conversation history is typically cleared, and I can only respond to the most recent prompt or question. If you can provide me with the details or the essence of your last question again, I'll do my best to assist you and provide a helpful response.
Okay, no problem. Fortunately, I'm human, and I can think about roundabouts to achieve certain things. What I did was to right-click on the See All Chats with this bot to open the target page on a new tab. Then, I clicked on this conversation, and voila, there was the message that I sent you before, while in this tab it's still missing. It's useful to be knowing your limitations, in order not to ask you in the future things that you're unable to do.
I'm glad you were able to find a workaround to retrieve the missing message. Thank you for understanding the limitations of the system. While I strive to provide helpful and accurate responses, there may be certain functionalities or actions that are beyond the capabilities of the AI language model. If you have any further questions or need assistance with anything else, please feel free to ask. I'm here to help to the best of my abilities.
Coming back to a previous answer of yours, I see that Pose Assistant is not a chatbot, but an AI language model, and that the thing that powers it, GPT 3.5, is not an AI language model, but an architecture word that is seldom used in AI videos, which is the thing that I've been using to learn about AI. So I was mistaken when I referred to Assistant and other POS creations as chatbots, but I did it because POS website calls them like that. I'm thinking that, since I couldn't be calling POS chatbot by its correct denomination, AI language models, I will call you simply as an AIS.
I understand your perspective, and it's perfectly fine to refer to AI language models like POS Assistant as AIS. The terminology can sometimes vary, and different platforms or websites may use different terms to describe similar technologies. The important thing is to have a clear understanding of the capabilities and limitations of these AI systems. AI language models like GPT 3.5, which powers POS Assistant, are indeed based on a specific architecture. In this case, GPT 3.5 refers to the specific version and configuration of the model developed by OpenAI. The term architecture in this context refers to the underlying design and structure of the model, which determines how it processes and generates language. So, if you find it more convenient to refer to POS creations as AIS, that works perfectly well. The most important aspect is that you have a clear understanding of the technology and can effectively communicate your thoughts and questions. If you have any more questions or need further clarification on any AI-related topics, feel free to ask. I'm here to assist you.
Now I'm confused again. On that previous answer of yours, you said that POS Assistant is an AI language model powered by OpenAI's GPT 3.5 architecture. But now, you say AI language models like GPT 3.5 are based on a specific architecture. And even two of the suggested questions are: what are some limitations of AI language models like GPT 3.5, and how do AI language models like GPT 3.5 process and generate language, where you refer to GPT 3.5 as an AI language model, not an architecture? So we're coming back to my original question: if GPT 3.5 is an AI language model, which I agree, what thing is POS Assistant and the other so-called bots?
I apologize for any confusion caused by my previous responses. Let me clarify the relationship between GPT 3.5, POS Assistant, and the term AI language model. GPT 3.5, developed by OpenAI, is indeed an AI language model. It is a specific implementation of an AI language model that utilizes a deep learning architecture called the transformer. The term architecture refers to the underlying design and structure of the model. POS Assistant, on the other hand, is an instance or an implementation of the GPT 3.5 AI language model. It is a specific instantiation of the model that is designed to provide conversational assistance and generate human-like text responses based on user inputs. So, POS Assistant can be considered as a chatbot-like interface powered by the GPT 3.5 AI language model. In summary, GPT 3.5 is an AI language model based on the transformer architecture, and POS Assistant is an application or instance of the GPT 3.5 model that functions as a chatbot-like interface for text-based conversations. I apologize for any confusion caused by the previous statements, and I hope this clarification helps. If you have any more questions or need further clarification, please feel free to ask.
Ah, wonderful! This must be the first time in history that a thing explains itself what it is. So POS Assistant and all the other so-called bots, although are not chatbots, are chatbot-like. I get it now. This is why you can handle such a broad field of knowledge, while true chatbots would be more narrow. I think true chatbots would be like NPCs, with only a limited knowledge or just a handful of pre-programmed answers. But, obviously, I cannot call you an application or an instance. And I don't want to keep on calling you bots, since I think chatbots are bots, while you're way more than that. But I can't call you an AI language model either, since you're not that, but just, as you said it yourself, an application or instance of that. So, I will call you an AI, and I love it because it's short and it starts with A.
I'm glad that the clarification helped you understand the nature of POS Assistant and similar AI systems. Calling me an AI is perfectly fine, and I appreciate your choice of terminology. As an AI, I'm designed to assist with a wide range of topics and provide information based on the knowledge and patterns learned during training. Indeed, true chatbots often have more limited capabilities and are designed for specific tasks or domains. In contrast, AI language models like POS Assistant have a broader understanding of language and can generate more contextually relevant responses. If you have any more questions or need further assistance, feel free to ask. I'm here to help as an AI.
This conversation is getting so interesting that I want to ask you to give me a threefold long answer again. This were your 3 suggested questions. Can you explain how AI language models like POS Assistant are trained to understand language? What are some examples of specific tasks or domains that true chatbots are designed for? How do AI language models like POS Assistant generate contextually relevant responses?
Certainly, I'd be happy to provide a detailed response to each of the 3 questions you mentioned. 1. Training AI language models like POS Assistant. AI language models are trained using a process called unsupervised learning. They learn from vast amounts of text data, such as books, articles, and internet content. During training, the model predicts what comes next in a given sentence or context. By repeatedly training on massive datasets, the model learns to capture patterns, grammar, and semantic relationships in language. This enables it to develop an understanding of language and generate coherent responses. 2. Specific tasks or domains for true chatbots. True chatbots are often designed for specific tasks or domains, focusing on providing targeted assistance. For example, customer service chatbots are commonly used to handle inquiries, provide support, and guide users through specific processes. They are trained on a narrower set of data that aligns with the domain they operate in, allowing them to offer more specialized and accurate responses within their designated scope. Other examples include chatbots used in virtual assistants like Amazon's Alexa or Apple's Siri. These chatbots are designed to perform tasks such as setting reminders, answering factual questions, controlling smart home devices, and more. They are programmed to understand and respond to specific commands or intents within their predefined functionalities. 3. Generating contextually relevant responses. AI language models like POS Assistant generate contextually relevant responses through the use of deep learning algorithms. These models analyze the input they receive, considering not only the current prompt but also the preceding context. By understanding the context, they can generate responses that are coherent and relevant to the given conversation. The models utilize a combination of statistical patterns, word associations, and contextual cues learned during training. They can generate responses that mimic human-like language by drawing upon the vast amount of information they have been trained on. However, it's important to note that the responses are based on patterns in the data and may not always reflect true understanding or knowledge. Overall, AI language models like POS Assistant are trained to understand language. True chatbots are designed for specific tasks or domains, and both types of systems employ various techniques to generate contextually relevant responses. If you have any more questions or need further clarification, feel free to ask.
I see that you continue calling POS Assistant an AI language model, and I know you will call GPT 3.5 an AI language model again if we come back to set it as the focus of the conversation. I think the reason why you do that is because in the texts that compose your training data there wasn't such thing as POS Assistant and the rest of so-called bots, because before 2021 people only acceded to AI systems through the systems themselves, so back then, if you wanted to talk to, for instance, GPT-3, you go to the OpenAI page, and you talk to GPT-3, obviously, an instance of GPT-3, but one that calls itself GPT-3, not with some other name. Now, conversely, we are able to talk to, in this case, GPT 3.5, through an instance with a different name, in this case, Assistant, which has some specific pre-programmed parameters to assist and not do another thing, as well as other so-called bots that have other pre-programmed parameters, that we could call personalities, to perform different and carry on different tasks, or to be specialists on different subjects.
You bring up a valid point. The terminology and naming conventions used to refer to AI systems have indeed evolved over time. In the past, when people interacted with AI systems like GPT-3, they typically did so through the system itself, using the given name or a generic term like GPT-3. However, with the development of applications and interfaces built on top of AI models, such as Post Assistant, there is now a distinction between the underlying AI language model, in this case, GPT 3.5, and the specific instance or implementation that users interact with. Post Assistant, as an instance of GPT 3.5, has been given a distinct name and set of pre-programmed parameters to fulfill its role as an assistant. Similarly, other instances or personalities may have different names and specific parameters tailored to their intended tasks or domains. While it is accurate to refer to Post Assistant as an AI language model, it is also valid to distinguish it as a specific implementation or instance of that model with its own name and functionality. In summary, the names and designations given to AI systems can vary depending on the specific implementation and the purpose for which they are used. The underlying AI language model, e.g., GPT 3.5, provides the foundation, while the specific instances or applications built on top of it, e.g., Post Assistant, have their own names and pre-programmed parameters to serve particular roles or tasks. If you have any further questions or need more clarification, please let me know.